Hello and welcome to another fantastic episode of the Fantastic Mr. Podcast. As we head into the Christmas season, we're taking a look at some of our favorite holiday movies. So sit back, relax, grab your Christmas popcorn and hot chocolate, and let's talk about some of our favorite Christmas movies. We thought it might be fun to talk about our top five favorite Christmas movies, preferably in the order five, four, three, two, one. One being the best, five being the worst. So I was gonna let whoever wants. I don't want to go first. I want to go last actually. So I'm assuming you guys have a list in order, and then we can kind of talk about them as we go. I guess. Does that sound good to you guys?
Of
Sounds
course.
like a plan.
All right, Zach, you want to start?
Sure. When I had messaged you the other day, I had listed just off the top of my head without thinking much, five movies. I think I listed five,
Five golden rings. Sorry.
but it's hard to really say for sure if this is a definitive five. But I've got to say between Holiday Affair and Elf, those being my just go-to Christmas movies, kind of tied for number one. And they're very much different. Now, Holiday Fair is made in the 40s, and it's black and white. It's about a young widow, and she's basically torn between this attorney and then this uh, so-called romantic homeless man. I would call him, and she goes to stores and tries to get prices for things, and then converts those prices and tries to gets the prices for those items and tries to upsell. Anyways, it's like a comedy that takes place during Christmas, so it might not be like the most like obvious like Christmas movie, but it is called Holiday Affair.
Yeah.
But I've only seen it once. I saw it last year because my parents and a lot of actors I really don't know of, but Janet Leigh is like the main actor, and Robert Mitchum and Wendell Corey are the other two, like the two that Janet Leigh's character is kind of having a competition with to kind of who does she love. So, and this is set looks like during the 40s, of course, but during a time when everyone's wearing suits and such, so the decorum is quite spiffy. But I just enjoyed the kind of the comedic aspects of this film, and kind of the desperation of uh, love during the holiday season, especially when people could feel lonely. So there's kind of things people could relate to by watching this movie. But
Yeah.
the
I'm
trailer for this movie is kind of odd. I feel like a lot of trailers for movies back in the day were just slapped together with like big old text on
Mhm.
the the screen, and it's hard to get a sense of whether this movie is good or not because it's just like a bunch of random things slapped together, as I said.
And then it always
But
starts off with like the someone will say the name of the movie, Holiday Affair with Robert Mitchum,
right,
Janet
yeah.
Leigh.
But
I
Robert
miss those trailers.
But Robert Mitchum and Wendell Corey, they're just great. Wendell Corey, he's in Leave It to Beaver. I forgot which character he is, but he's in Leave It to Beaver in the series. And the other guy, Robert Mitchum, he's a very funny guy. Um, and I don't know if I'm sure these actors are dead by now, sadly. But it's one you got to check out. It probably is on one of those streaming services where you could
Yeah,
add ads, and it's a good one. I
I'm
think
looking at the
you're looking at
IMDb. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
looking at and I like the description. It's a young widow is torn between a boring attorney and a romantic ne'er-do-well. Ne'er-do-well. Which
There you
I had to look it up. I knew it. I kind of knew what it meant, but I was like, I'm gonna look this up. It's a person who is lazy and irresponsible. Here's the problem with these kind of movies. Is like I get being unhappy. but you're choosing
And
between an.
is that normal for you,
I mean, yeah,
Amelia?
I'm perpetually unhappy, but I live in a state of perpetual depression. To perpetual, yeah. Anyway, we're not going to talk about my
Holiday blues,
hangups.
man.
Yeah,
Holiday
Nothing screams
blues.
Christmas
the
than
point. Okay,
seasonal depression.
seasonal affective disorder. That's what it's called. Um. So anyway, it just blows my mind how like I mean I get being happy. Being happy is great, and I will choose a job that makes way less money if I'm happy versus a job that makes a bunch of money and I'm not happy. But it's always like this it's like this rich or someone who does really well person versus someone who is not. Complete opposite, right? And I don't know, it just kind of blows my mind. They always choose the person who is like poor. It's like, well, what are you going to do after you're married? Is he going to get a job? Like, what's going to happen there? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, but
It is like it's like a
he's
Hallmark
rich
movie.
in character.
Yeah, and
Is
that's
rich.
great. It's just funny because it's like not necessarily holiday movies, but like a lot of Hallmark movies. That's how they do
Yeah.
things. It's just like, oh, my husband in New York is a lot. It's a lot. It's like The Notebook, you know,
Mhm.
and it's like it makes a lot of money. He hasn't done anything wrong. He's not bad to me. I just love this guy more, you know. Unless the person is really a bad person, then I totally get it. Like that, like Wedding Crashers.
So why do you think that is? Like that kind of trope of the person going for
Oh,
the
he's a
so-called lesser to do.
romantic. He's a romantic. That's what that. I mean, it says it in the description. He's a romantic. So it's like
Let's have two romantics going at it. Maybe one's a little bit
romanticer.
boring. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. It's just funny
Demeanor
to.
demeanor plays a big role as well, I would imagine.
I will watch this though. I think you suggested this movie a couple times to
It
me.
was during the whole talk of Christmas movies last year, and you saw Christmas
Oh,
in Connecticut, which I've yet to
Oh
see.
yeah, you're the one that suggested that movie to me, wasn't it? Christmas in Connecticut.
Probably did, but my
I'm pretty sure you
parents, I'm
did.
sure, recommended. But I haven't seen
Oh,
it yet.
I did watch it. It was pretty good. This holiday affair looks interesting. I can't wait to learn more about the
It's
boring
funny.
attorney.
It's funny. I enjoyed it. And again,
I like the poster too.
all the posters back in the day were
Yeah, they're
awesome.
way better than
I
posters
want to
now.
see that style of poster for
The
modern
Avengers.
movies.
Yeah.
Avengers, yeah, with the art style,
hmm
the it looks like drawings to me. Maybe it's I don't know. What do you think? What's the are they drawings or
Yeah, they look like really good drawings of them.
I have IMDb pulled up as well.
Yeah. It's the one that says, "Baby, you're just what I want for Christmas."
Yeah, I guess
RKO. That's
this
an
is a
RKO movie.
Christmas movie. Then
Yeah,
it's
I
just
would
it's
think so.
not your typical fun. Let's go buy a turkey or a ham and celebrate Christmas. There's like
And you know, more Christmas movies are about love than you think. Maybe not necessarily a boring attorney versus a romantic ne'er-do-well,
have you
but
seen Christmas with the Cranks?
no.
Or the one with the
Is that
Tim
Matthew
Allen?
Broderick? Oh, that's Tim Allen. Okay, I
it's
couldn't.
Tim Allen, baby.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I haven't seen it.
That's love in it.
All right, what's your next one, Zachariah?
So it was a holiday fair and Elf. I think we
Oh,
all could
Elf.
chime in about Elf. How many times have you guys
I've
seen
seen
it?
Elf once, and it was yeah, and it was funny.
Only
And you know
once?
what? Yeah, and
A blasphemy.
I think I'm gonna watch it again. I think I'm gonna watch it again this year actually because it's on like every top 100, every top 30 list or whatever. It's always in there. So
Just want to know
um,
why I like Elf.
yeah,
There's a wholesome vibe to it. We're talking about this giant human man that thinks he's an elf and comes from an orphanage. Santa unknowingly takes him back to the North Pole, and the Papa Elf. I forgot the name of the actor, but he was wonderful. I think he's passed away since, but I loved his relationship with Will Ferrell's buddy.
you
The
talking
name of
about Santa Claus or his actual father?
the the Papa Elf, the
Well,
Oh, Bob Newhart.
elf.
Yeah,
Yes, Bob Newhart. I love
yeah.
his style of acting, and but it's sad that he's no longer here. I would have been interested to see the
He
sequel, but
he just died. Yeah, this year.
right.
He was in The Big Bang Theory. He was super funny in that.
I remember seeing him in it might have been one of the Star Wars episodes, maybe. But anyways, it is very wholesome vibe to the movie. And I remember seeing this movie as a kid, and I was like, I need to go to the store back when they sold soundtracks or scores at like Target and regular stores. So
Yeah.
my parents got me the score for the movie, and some of the themes are just awesome. French horns. It,
Elf has some
it,
of the best holiday music, like modern movie, some of the best holiday
yeah,
music.
No, I guess
absolutely.
he was a voice in The Rescuers,
And the main
1977.
theme for the elf for Elf, like Buddy's theme, it's somewhat reminiscent of the Polar Express themes. People
Blah.
It
Polar
sounds similar. I
Express.
was like, when people make that comparison, I'm like, I wasn't a big fan of that movie. So it's like, I could see like maybe the first few notes, but other than that, the score is a lot more grand and holiday-esque. Even the intro theme, I have the DVD, and the intro to the DVD, like of the menu and everything, it's that introductory theme of the movie, and it's you just got to hear it for yourself. I'll send you a link to it afterwards. Like
Yeah.
it's like a mix of like very fun and lively, bumpy, yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, the 90s and
Choir music.
the 90s and the early 2000s had like the greatest scores for just the most random movies.
Oh, all the composers went hard.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I wish they'd do that now. Because, you know, even like Liar Liar has a great score.
Now it's
Um,
all soundscapes. It's
Casper
all
has
See,
a
like
great score.
ambient stuff in
Yeah.
the background.
yeah, I would even argue, sadly, Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy had a lot of Hans Zimmer music. As great as it is, it just
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
okay.
It's very repetition. It's very rhythmic bass. Whereas at least for me, I miss the days of more traditional scores with symphonies and melodies that are a little bit more complicated. That's just me. But
Yeah.
John Favreau, I remember seeing him in this movie. He plays the doctor in this movie, and
Also, Peter Dinklage
Peter Dinklage as
in it.
well. What's the let's see the guy who played the father, the actual father.
Oh man,
He died as well.
Who? Sorry, I had to close my windows.
dang!
Yes,
Both his daddies died.
Who?
right.
Poor
Oh,
Elf.
the actual
No, the
father.
act, yeah, the guy who played the father who was like mean and was very standoffish. Like, who the hell are you?
I mean, I would be freaking out too if a guy claiming he was an elf was also claiming he was my son.
Do you remember? Oh yeah, you so yeah. I keep thinking
Yeah, this
you've
guy.
seen it once, but you remember it. Yeah, but what's his name? He
Oh, he's
died though.
2022. James Caan,
Yeah,
2022.
yeah. So a lot of people have died in that movie, sadly in real life. But it's just a movie I can't not watch every year. Zoe Deschanel,
Yeah,
she's
blonde
in.
Zoe Deschanel.
That's her natural hair color, I believe, as well. And I believe so. But she's great in this movie. I didn't know how great of a singer she is in the bathroom scene when she's
Yeah,
being
she sings
she's
the theme song for New Girl.
oh, does she?
Hmm. Who's that girl? That's what she sings.
Hmm.
I guess he was in The Godfather. This guy, Godfather Part Two.
But she's singing the baby. It's cold outside, and then
Yeah,
Buddy's like just weird, unknowingly he doesn't know he's a creeper. What he's doing is technically inappropriate, but he's like singing along. Like it has when people hear this song, "Baby, It's Cold Outside." There's usually a man and a woman duet
singing together.
situation. Yeah, so he's kind of just tagging along in that. But I don't know. It's a magical movie. It's a short movie. I could like in my head see the storyboard essentially of each scene. I think once it gets to the New York scene, that's like where it really takes off. But I wish we saw a little bit more of his life growing up. I wish we did. Maybe we need an Alpha series because they do that with every
Yeah,
like young Sheldon.
they
Let's
should
have
do it. They should do it in the
young
vein of
Buddy.
the Penguin.
Jesus.
Oh my goodness. Some I don't know what's going on at the North Pole. Some mobs of elves. I don't know. Who knows? But
Killing
yeah,
people.
Did you guys enjoy Elf growing up?
The one time I watched it, I did think it was funny, and I thought it was really funny when Santa comes to New York and the what is it, the Central Park Rangers,
Rangers.
yeah, and he's
Yeah.
like the Central Park Rangers,
They're a real thing.
like he's dealt with them several times before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I thought that was really funny. And then the part where they see Santa and Buddy sees Santa at the mall for the first time, and he gets super excited, even though it's not the
Right.
actual Santa.
How about the infamous the Peter Dinklage going ham on Buddy in the conference room?
I don't really remember.
He's like, call me elf one more time, and he's like, he's an angry elf, and then he beats him up.
He calls him an elf.
I
Yeah.
but there was one scene I did feel uncomfortable as a kid. Even is when Buddy's so excited that he's like, I'm in love pretty much, and just kissed Zoe Deschanel's character, and he like intrudes on an important meeting on Christmas Eve that his biological father is holding about some book. It is a children's book that had to be revised and everything. The guy, his boss had to come in from like somewhere else to get this meeting done, and then he's like, yeah, "Get the hell out of my life!" After the whole situation, because it results in uh, the Peter Dinklage's character beating up
Oh,
Buddy and all that. And he's like, "Get the hell out of my life!" And he's like, Buddy just runs off and is all sad. And I thought it when he was walking on, I don't know what bridge that was. Maybe it was the Brooklyn Bridge that and he was doing. He had the etch a sketch and everything. Like I thought he was gonna like jump off the bridge or something out of like
Jesus.
sadness.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it would have been.
Goodness.
How old were you when you saw this for the first time?
I was young,
Cynical
but
little kid.
yeah, my goodness, dude.
I knew about people ending their lives
Mary
on
Steenburgen's
bridges.
in this movie. You know who Mary Steenburgen is?
Who's that?
She
She played
is
the mother.
from yeah, she's from Arkansas.
Where else has she
She's
been?
also in Back to the Future 3. She's Doc Brown's love interest in Back to the Future 3. She's in Step Brothers. She plays Will Ferrell's mother in Step Brothers.
Huh.
She's in a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of. I wonder if the kid, his like not biological brother, what he's doing nowadays. That young
Oh,
boy.
you're talking about on Elf. Let's see.
Yeah, I wonder what he's up to these days.
What was his name in the movie?
I don't know. I've seen it so many times. I just his name. He's just not a memorable character, at
don't
least
know.
by name.
This is probably him right here. That has no picture on his IMDb. Is his name Michael in the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have a picture on his IMDb.
Is Santa still alive?
Let's see who played Santa.
For all the kids
Ed-
listening, I
Ed
sure hope
Asner.
so.
Oh yeah, here he is. Oh, Ed Asner, he's probably dead. Let's see. Yeah, he died in 2021.
You heard it here first, kids. Santa is dead.
Santa is
Santa is dead.
100%
Santa's
dead.
helper. Santa's helper.
Santa's little helper. That's the name of the dog on The Simpsons.
I thought that was the little blue pills that you take.
Well, that sounds like a whole other thing.
Well,
All right,
those are
Zach.
my top two.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if I did more deep thinking, I'm sure I would have another top two. But as
Yeah.
of in recent years, Holiday Affair is like one of my top in Elf.
Do you have a top 5?
I do. I'll just list
Yeah.
other ones. Home Alone, the first one, A Christmas Story. This is a classic. And then I think I said The Holdovers.
Yeah. We can talk about the holdovers in a minute. That's actually in my list too, if we want to do that.
Sounds good.
Yeah. What did you say? You said Home Alone. What was the second one you said?
I said
Christmas Story.
A Christmas Story. That's a classic. It has so many memes and that weren't even
Have you
memes
seen-
back then. But like,
Have you seen Have you seen the sequel?
I have. I watched it for the first time
Christmas.
last year. I thought it was all right, but I mean, it would have been nice to have some of the actors that played like the parents back, but you can't for obvious reasons. But otherwise,
Why are they dead?
yes,
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know what the obvious reasons were.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. It wasn't on the nose as much as I thought it would be, trying to like play by play, remember berries everywhere here and there. I thought it had a nice original flair to it.
Yeah, he
I need
takes
to
them.
watch it again.
takes them back to their house or something like that. I
Yeah.
just read I actually saw it on a list and I was like, I wonder what this movie's about. And I just read the description of it. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen A Christmas Story in a long time, but I have
Did
seen
you?
it a couple of times.
And you know that there were technical sequels that came out after the 1983 movie, but they were absolutely horrible, and no one really talks about them anymore. But
Christmas Story sequels. Hold up.
Do they
yeah,
have the same kid?
new.
Did you guys know? I
They
know
have
this
different
isn't.
actors.
I know this isn't about Halloween or anything, but I watched Psycho recently for class, and I was looking up things, and there are four Psycho movies. Psycho 1, Psycho 2,
Really?
Psycho 3, Psycho 4, and they all star Anthony Perkins, and Psycho 3 is directed by Anthony Perkins. Isn't that
Wow,
crazy?
Dang.
Yeah.
I've never seen those movies.
It must not be that great.
I'm behind the times.
I don't know. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, I got to see these movies. There are apparently eight of A Christmas Story sequels.
Yeah, I'm looking at is it from crack.com?
Yeah, crack.com.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, some looking at some of this, it doesn't seem like they're like actual sequels. It's just like
It might,
weird
yeah, you're right.
other movies. But I'm
Yeah.
looking at like A Christmas Story 2 that came out in 2012, a cash grab they're calling it. There was another.
Oh yeah, here it
Well, that's
is.
the main one. That's the main one that people are like
It was a
dogging
blatant
on.
attempt to cash in on the fact that A Christmas Story had now become a bona fide classic. So it doesn't have anything to do with. Oh, it has Marv from Home Alone in it, so that's good.
That's a guarantee winner.
Everyone else, however, makes the movie unwatchable. There's a fine line between a heightened performance and Disney Channel acting. That's funny.
What's wrong
And
with
Chris,
Disney Channel acting has a it works for those shows because
right, but this isn't. Is this a Disney
This isn't a
movie?
Disney show.
Yeah,
This is a
yeah,
Disney movie.
true.
that's what I was gonna say. Oh, look, A Christmas Story live. You could see the show live. People singing classic scenes from A Christmas Story.
I don't
There's
remember
even,
any
there's even a song called "You'll
singing.
Shoot Your Eye Out." That's funny. Okay,
Oh,
sorry. And then you said Home Alone, which
Home
is a
Alone, the
classic,
first one, because
and
it
the
makes me
holdovers.
hungry. It makes me hungry when he eats the macaroni and cheese.
Cheese.
But I'm very sad when he just leaves it because the clock strikes. What
That's
time
right.
is it? Is it
He's like
eight?
sits down right. Like, you
Makes
knew
me
when this
mad.
was all going to happen. Anyway, I have that on my list too, so we can talk about that in a
Makes me
second.
so
That's so
mad. And
funny.
he has a fork and knife ready to go.
I don't know what the
Like,
hell
come
he's
on,
using the
buddy.
knife for, but whatever.
It
Is
looks
it
like
frozen?
delicious
He did a
Kraft
good
mac and
job.
cheese.
He did a good job making that mac and cheese. I remember that.
Remember Little Nero's pizza? That made me so like hungry when watching that like multiple times as a kid. Like I wanted pizza whenever I watched that.
I don't know. It was always when Buzz ate the pizza that kind of grossed me out because
That
he
disgusts me.
he like shoves it in his mouth and he's like, "It's all gone." Like I don't blame Kevin for getting mad.
Wasn't Buzz the actor who played Buzz? He comes back for some recent Home Alone movie that didn't do well.
Yeah, there was Home Alone 4. Oh no, there was the Home Alone. Hang on. I know what you're talking about. They
But
just released the Home
it's
Alone.
actually Buzz too. It's like the actor he's playing Buzz.
Home Sweet Home Alone. I wonder if that's him. Oh, it's got Ellie Kemper in it. I didn't know that. Ellie Kemper, she plays Aaron on The Office. Let's see if he's in it. Hmm. I don't see him in this one. Home
Maybe he's
Alone.
not.
Let's just look him up. Let's just look him up as the actor. I know we're trying to Buzz McAllister.
Yeah,
He looks good.
the
Home
actor.
Alone. Yeah.
Yeah, Officer Buzz
Oh,
McAllister.
he was in a Better Call Saul. Oh yeah, Home Sweet Home Alone. Yeah, he was in the new one.
He's a police
That's funny. I kind of want to watch it just for that.
officer.
I might put it on my list.
I don't even know what streaming service it's on.
It's on
but
Disney Plus.
let's see, 3.6 out of 10 IMDb, 15% Rotten
Yeah,
Tomatoes, and
it did
35
a
out of 100 Metacritic. But I'd still
apparently
see
it did a crappy job because it's not Home Alone. It's like you guys got to get that out of your mind. By you guys, I mean like audience people. They go in. Well, it's like the Joker. They go in expecting one thing because and the Joker can kind of understand because you think it's going to be one thing and then it's completely different. And instead of
Subverted
appreciating it,
expectations.
yeah, for what it is, they're like, "Oh, that wasn't like the other Joker. I'm so mad."
But I
It's like,
remember seeing some, I don't know how old these ads are, commercials are, but Macaulay Culkin reenacting some scenes from when he was a kid doing Home Alone. He still looks,
yeah,
he looks great. You know, he went some hard times.
this was
Uh,
recently.
yeah,
I forgot what
but
commercial it was for, but yeah, this was
like
recent.
the mirror scene and all that
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the bedroom
He's
on the
jumping on the
bed.
bed. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
like I could see. I mean, I don't know what his acting ambitions are if he really would care,
Well,
but I
they
feel like
just
they would do a good
He's
job. They would do good, decent writing
like,
if he were to come back. I feel
well,
like
he's taking real good care of himself, and like he's got himself in a good space. Like he's
and
married.
he's married to
Like,
Brenda Song.
yeah,
Woo!
from A
She's
Sweet
hot.
like
Life of Zach and Cody,
Sweet
right?
Life of Zack and Cody.
And she
Yeah,
looks
he's married. I think
wonderful.
he has like a kid.
he has two kids
He's
with
like
her.
he's in a metal band.
He's a
Like,
pizza, or
yeah,
it used to
he's
be.
doing fantastic.
He did go through some stuff, but yeah, he's doing a lot better now, and he got a star on the Walk of Fame.
That's
Um,
awesome.
and he's actually, I think he's now attached to the new season of The Last of Us. I think is what I
Ooh,
read. I could be wrong. Hopefully, I'm not, but I think he's in. I think he's in it.
Did you see the the first season?
I still haven't watched it.
Have
I
you
don't
seen,
know
it's
why.
based off a video game, right?
Yeah, The
yeah.
Last of Us.
It, I love it, but I haven't played the video games, so I don't understand the outrage from some people. You know, it's just the usual.
Maybe I should just go into it.
It's not step by step the video game. Wah.
It's never going to be like that ever. Like that's what people don't understand too is they call it an adaptation for a reason. They don't call it a translation.
Yeah, they're different mediums.
Have there ever, what's the best example of a translation
I've heard,
that you know of?
and I don't know this for sure because I haven't read it, but The Watchmen is supposed to be like the best translation from book to movie. Um, as far as like you're watching the book basically or
See,
reading the movie.
I heard that's very different, and it's not the movie, but rather the Watchmen TV show.
No, the Watchmen TV. I'm not talking about the TV show. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah, but like the writer of the Watchmen series hates the movie.
The Zack Snyder movie?
Yeah,
I wonder
he
why.
doesn't think it's he doesn't think it's appropriate at all. Like he doesn't think it matches.
Interesting. Maybe I should read The Watchmen then. Right now I'm reading Batman Year One, but maybe I'll read The Watchmen next.
So another tangent, but the Batman, Matt Reeves is a Batman. I guess the inspiration was, you guys probably already know this, was Batman Year One and
Hmm.
A Long Halloween, I
Yeah,
believe.
The Long Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see Batman Year One totally because Year One, the comic book. I've only read the first two chapters, but there's only four. But it goes in like spurts of dates, right? It starts at beginning of the year, then it moves to the you know second part of the year, then the third part of the year, then the fourth part of the year. So and you get to learn Batman as he becomes Batman, Bruce Wayne, and Jim Gordon. It's very interesting. The
Never
two.
read it. Does he go seek help and refuge from ninjas or something? Can come back to
No,
Gotham? No, he doesn't
mm-mm.
do any of that.
He's already back. He's already back. He did. He went off. I think 12 years to.
12 years.
Yeah,
Oh
he
my
was
God.
Realm of
12 years
Doomsday.
to. I want to say.
Imagine a TV show about that journey.
I know, right? But he was gone for
Never
12
gonna
years,
happen.
and I can't remember where he went if in the book. But he went somewhere and he came back, and that's when he started training to be Batman. And he's like, he's fighting and stuff, and he's like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And then he tests out his chops, and he fails, and then all of a sudden he's Batman.
And linking back to the conversation of Christmas movies, Batman Returns is that debatable, takes place during Christmas, but it's not really a Christmas movie. But some people joke and say
It is.
it's one of my favorite Christmas movies.
It was on one of the lists I looked at. That and Die Hard was on there. There's a bunch of those movies that aren't Christmas movies
Yes.
that take place around Christmas
Do
time.
we have an episode? I thought we had like one
Yeah, we did.
episode on
Mhm.
that whole debate.
I think that was last year's Christmas episode. Was Christmas movies about Christmas and versus taking place around. I don't remember what we called it, but we did something like that. Okay, let's get back on track. Sorry. So, are you good on your list there,
Yeah.
Zach? You want anything else you want to say?
Let's see. Briefly, I had to snip tool, the messenger, to make sure I remembered Holiday Affair, Elf, Home Alone, Christmas Story, and Holdovers. And we'll talk about Holdovers
Mhm.
when you mention it eventually.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Good deal.
Jake?
Yeah, well, my top five,
Mhm.
very similar to yours. Elf, that'd be my number five. Was that one or two for you?
That was tied. That
I
was
think you
tied for
said
Holiday
two.
Affair.
Oh,
But I'll say
okay.
I'll say number one. I'll
Number
just say
one.
number one. Yeah.
Okay, so your number one is my number five.
I'm on an island by myself for the rest of my life. Elf.
Really?
Wow. Woo,
Because
mama.
Elf, like,
because it has a mix of all different tones for me.
so you're
Okay.
saying Elf is your number, not just Christmas, but your number one movie. If you could watch nothing else, you would pick
Christmas.
Elf.
Christmas.
So do you have access to other movies that aren't Christmas movies on this desert island?
Yes.
Okay.
And the other one's gonna be top just overall movie.
So you can bring two
So
movies.
like in this scenario, you get like one movie from each genre.
One
And
movie
that'd be
from
cool.
each holiday.
That's
what it
another
sounds like.
episode. That's another episode right
Yeah,
there.
we could do an episode on that. Holiday movies, like not just Christmas, but like Halloween, Thanksgiving, even we could even do like 4th of
There's
July.
seasonal genres or
Yeah,
movies
seasonal.
movies about food.
We could do it all. Okay, sorry,
People
Jake.
listening are
Anyway,
like, "What is going on?"
Yeah,
anyway,
sorry.
Elf is my number five. At Home Alone, or number four, I've got Home Alone. So we've talked about that already. At number three, I've got Miracle on 34th Street. And
Nice.
this may be a hot take, but it's the 1994 version.
Oh, I don't even think I've
Yeah.
seen that.
Nor
I've
have
seen
I.
the. What year did the other one come out? Miracle.
Uh,
30
Miracle
man,
something?
it
on.
was early.
So there's a 47
30s, I
one.
think.
No,
Okay,
47.
47.
And then 94 with Richard Attenborough. Richard Attenborough, isn't he the one that does Planet Earth?
He's
The
in
guy
Jurassic
who.
Park.
Oh, he
He's
plays the.
the scientist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a scientist.
Chris Kringle.
Paleontologist.
That's who he plays. Chris Kringle.
Oh, that's him. Wow.
He's Santa.
That's
He's
awesome.
Santa. Yeah, Chris Kringle. Yeah. Santa.
Yeah, it's great. And
He's young.
man, I just have memories.
No, there's nothing wrong with the 1994, I'm sure, but it's just I
I
haven't
don't know,
seen
but
it.
when people talk about it, they're generally talking about
The original.
the
Gotcha.
original.
I actually watched the original for the first time a couple years ago. I'd never seen it before. It was pretty good. I liked it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
The little
It was
girl.
always
What was her
a
name?
it was always a tug of war between me and my dad on which Miracle on 34th Street we're gonna watch because he obviously likes the 47th one, and I always preferred the 94 one because
Why?
How old's your dad?
he's turned 73 this year.
That's why he likes the 1947 one.
Yeah.
He's a lot older than you are.
What he grew up on.
That's generally how adulthood works.
Yeah. Yeah. He says this is I mean, I'm just saying that's why he likes the older one and you like the newer
Yeah.
one.
I like the older one.
I like
already
the older
can tell
one.
you that right now.
Yeah, I could probably tell you. I'll probably like the old one better, but I wouldn't I'll put the 94 one on my list.
Jake,
It's
what about it? What about it? What's the difference?
well,
Yeah.
I think it does a really good job of like not pandering, but like giving to the sensibilities of the time of like the 90s. And it's just really well acted. Like everyone does a fantastic job. The little girl, I'm trying to remember the actress's name. Um, I think it's Susan Walker. Yeah, Susan Walker, who's also in Matilda, Mrs. Doubtfire. Um,
Susan Walker is the name of the character, right?
Susan Walker is the name of the character. I'm thinking of Mara Wilson.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
Mara Wilson.
Mara
plays-
Wilson, yeah. She plays on
Familiar.
Susan Walker.
Matilda.
And
She's
Mara Wilson
Matilda.
is in Matilda and Mrs. Doubtfire,
And
where
a
the
lot of
audience
other
might know
movies.
her from. But she
Yeah.
just does fantastic at
Yeah, there she
playing
is.
this little character who is like way because her mom's like super uptight, and so her mom has like made her in this like little adult basically, and so she does this just wonderful job of going like toe to toe in like little verbal spars and like witty banter between like her and adults, which I really enjoy. And just everyone like Richard Attenborough is just fantastic. Dylan
Welcome
McDermott,
to Jurassic
fantastic.
Park.
Um, and the judge, I think, is played by Robert Roski, and he actually might be
Mhm.
my favorite character. He does this just perfect job of being this disgruntled judge who, through the course of the film, has a complete 180 of character, from disbelieving and, you know, trying to send this guy
Ugh,
to an
God, it's
asylum
a weird looking
to
face.
to proclaiming Santa Claus exists. And it's a fun, feel good, well acted, well shot movie.
Actually, should rewatch this movie. Yeah, I should rewatch this movie.
Which one?
I'll rewatch the 47 one, but I'll watch for the first time the 94 one.
It's really good.
Okay.
And then my number two is the Santa Claus, the first one with Tim Allen,
Tim Allen.
1994.
Yeah.
Love that
And
movie.
I just love Tim Allen's humor.
I like
Like,
Bernard.
oh yeah, I
Bernard.
freaking loved, like, when I was like 8 or 9, Tim the Toolman Taylor was my god, and I wanted to be him growing up. I just whatever for whatever reason his humor resonates with me.
Have you
And
watched the show?
oh yeah,
Was it
like
good?
Home Improvement.
No, no, the Santa Claus show,
Oh, never. No, I
the
didn't know there
TV
was a
show.
show.
Yeah, there's a TV show on Disney Plus.
Oh, is it any good?
It's starring Tim Allen. I don't know. I was gonna ask you. I hadn't seen
I
it
don't
yet.
know. I got like the first one is really good. The second one is pretty good,
Yeah, it's fine.
but then like after that,
Well, there's three movies, and the third one is about Jack Frost wanting to take
yeah,
over for Santa.
yeah.
Um, and
They
then
they did
and
they
then
they
they
do
come
what
back with the show.
they do what they do with a lot of sequels, which is turn all of them into caricatures of themselves.
Yeah.
So in the first movie, he's a real person and he's trying to fish out of water, trying to figure out this job. Number two, he like it's like
He's got to get married.
he's got to get married, and so he makes a fake Santa Claus. But
Oh
the
yeah, he
the
makes a fake Santa
humor,
Claus that creates the Santa Claus army or whatever.
yeah, he makes a
So
Tin Soldier Army,
stupid.
but like the humor and everything
Yep.
kind of changed. They definitely targeted it towards like a children's audience, kids
Yeah.
audience, whereas the first movie I feel is enjoyable for the entire family. The
Hmm.
second movie and beyond are like, this is kids. Like this is a kid movie. Take your kids to go see it. Don't expect it to be good. But the first
Yeah.
one is great. It has some really great kid humor, but also has some really great like irony and satirical and like sardonic humor
This
in it.
Christmas, the snow hits the fan. That's what the slogan is on the poster. Sorry, go ahead.
Um, but it has some real subtle humor and like sardonic humor,
Mhm.
um, that I have learned to appreciate. I enjoyed it being funny as a kid, but as I grew up, I started understanding some of the other jokes that went over my head as a kid. So, and then finally, my
Da-da-da.
top is White Christmas, Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye,
Racist.
Rosemary Clooney, and Vera Ellen.
Just
Uh,
kidding. White
It's
Christmas.
always up
yeah,
there. I feel like
it's
on
I
people's
think
I
it's
top.
my
don't.
number
And
one.
I don't think
It's a
I've seen this
classic.
movie.
It's very much a musical.
All right.
everyone's cup of
It
tea.
resolves around basically two pairs of showmen. Two,
The Greatest Showman.
huh,
Sorry. Sorry.
two post-war army buddies who went into business together, and they get snowed in this little resort
And they
with
sing
two
about it.
sisters who are show women, and the resort also happens to be owned by their old commanding general from when they were in the army, and they try to
Mm.
convince all of their old army buddies to come back, and they put on a
When the sister
show.
act and team up to save their felling from. Oh, sorry. I was reading the.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
fine.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
only
I'm
talking.
sorry. I'm sorry. I thought I wasn't. I don't know why I didn't think you couldn't hear me. Go ahead.
Um, but they try to because the general's kind of given up on life, and so they try to get all of their war buddies back to surprise him and honor him with this show. And it's a romance, it's
Mm.
a musical, it's a dance. There's lots of fun like songs and dances through it. and it's just a really feel good. Uh, it's a really feel good movie.
And the movie, I feel like that came before it. I think it was 1942. Holiday Inn also has Bing Crosby. Instead, it's a love triangle situation, and it has instead of Danny Kaye, we have Fred Astaire. And Fred Astaire, if you guys know, he's prominent actor and
Sing,
dancer and singer.
Singing in
Um,
the Rain, right?
yeah. But Holiday Inn, I always get confused sometimes when it comes to Holiday Inn versus White Christmas because they both have like love aspects to it. They're both kind of
Mhm.
funny and they're both musicals. But Holiday Inn came in 42, I believe. White Christmas was the early 50s. But yeah,
1954 for White Christmas
mm, they're both very good.
and 42 for the other
Both
one.
very good movies. And Holiday Inn has a scene where Bing Crosby's character is sitting at a piano singing White Christmas.
I listened to some Bing Crosby Christmas music last night because I have a little collection of 45s. The bad thing
Which,
about 45s is there's only one effing song on each side.
but they're vintage.
Yeah, it is pretty
Awesome.
cool. And I'm actually missing one out of that set.
I don't have any 45s.
Yeah, that's the only one I have. I don't remember how I found it, but I was like, I'll take it, and it's cool.
I was about to break into song, but I don't want to get a copyright strike on the
Yeah,
channel. So.
don't you do that.
You guys are too tight-lipped about that.
Justin is.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know
You
why.
never know.
You never know who might be listening,
clamp
man.
down. They could clamp down.
You never know who might be listening.
I could sing it, but I'll just do it in a different key and have flats and just make it a little bit different. You know how sometimes movies that sounds kind of similar to the Star Wars theme, but it's not. Like in Thumb Wars, if you guys have seen Thumb Wars,
Oh yeah.
No.
very odd movie. Touch your tongue, touch it to mine. You
I
don't want
see
to
your
know.
schnoz is as big as mine.
Job of the butt. But yeah, White Christmas is a classic. I mean, it should be up there in probably my top 10 if I were to have a top 10 list.
I'm just like
My,
these
my,
movies.
my top five, top 10 lists, they just evolve over time.
Yeah, I mean they should evolve over time. You probably shouldn't have the same one till you die. I mean, you might have the same favorite movie, I think, but I think your top
Yeah.
five will evolve. So cool. Anything else about yours, Jake, that you want to talk about? Any final
No, not
thoughts?
really.
Sweet. I guess I'll do mine now. So I've been like writing down movies as you guys have been talking about them. So I've added just to like the whole list. I've
To watch
added,
them.
yeah, I've added Home Sweet Home Alone, both Miracle on 34th Streets, White Christmas, and Holiday Inn. Um,
How about Holiday Affair too?
oh, I thought
Was
I
that
added it, but I didn't. I'll add it right now.
because you said that that looks kind
Yeah,
of interesting.
yeah. I know I meant to add it. I guess I didn't. Okay, so I'll start with my number five.
Apartment.
Is no, that's not a Christmas movie, is it?
It is.
Eh,
It's
But it's one of those
it's
movies.
included.
It's one of those movies. It's like one of those takes place around Christmas. No, I didn't put the
New
apartment on.
Year's, New Year's.
Oh yeah, it is New Year's. That they celebrate more. No, my number five is Violent Night with what's his face? David Harbour plays Santa Claus. About a Santa Claus that
That's a
gets
fun one.
trapped in a house as the family is being held hostage. And it's very funny, very gory. I really like just like the fighting in it because Santa isn't a fighter. I mean, he used to be, but he's not. At least in this world, he used to be a fighter. Um, so he's like
No, when
strong
was
and
that?
stuff.
2022?
Yeah, I think so. I saw that in theaters, and I was like, man, I'm so glad I came to see this in theaters. And actually, last year I showed it to my friends, and my buddy was like, I think this is now my favorite Christmas movie. Um, so I was
Really?
like, yeah, I was like, all right. So I made it number five. I pushed
I'm
Home Alone.
surprised.
I pushed Home Alone out of the top five. Actually, now that I think about it.
Whoa.
2022. Sorry to keep on interrupting, but 2022, there were two movies having to do with killer Santa Clauses, one being more heroic than the other. Christmas, Bloody Christmas. Have you seen that one?
You have
Joe
though.
That has a name.
Joe Begos, a horror film.
I'll put it down.
Put that one down. All I got to tell you, I think I've talked about this briefly before, how it's a killer robot that is sold at like toy stores and that
Like
has a
Chucky.
mind of its own, pretty much.
Mhm.
But has an 80s vibe to it, even though it takes place in like more modern day. And I feel like for some reason a lot of this dialogue was improvised because there's just long, and almost kind of boring uh passages of dialogue in this movie just between two characters like just saying the F word like constantly. And then eventually gets more interesting once the killing commences. But anyways, that's a good movie you should see, and also about a killer Santa Claus.
Well, the Santa Claus is killer in that, but the first one, Violent Night, he's not a killer Santa Claus. He just happens to have to kill people.
Yeah, still
Uh,
technically killer, just not in the
um,
horror aspect.
yeah,
At
and
least
it,
maybe it could be a horror perspective from the people he's killing.
yeah, I guess, but they're bad people, so who cares?
Remember the guy that was impaled on the icicle?
Yeah, that was out. He fell, right? He fell onto it.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Anyway, that was a cool movie. Pretty gory, but funny and like kind of a fun Christmas movie. My number
Family
four,
were the family was so dumb though. I felt like they were so entitled.
well, because yeah, I would say they're rich. They're stupid and rich. Number four for me was The Santa Claus. Always loved that movie. We had it on VHS when I was a kid, and I watched it all the time. And it's one of those Christmas movies I could probably watch all year round, honestly. And I think it's also because of Tim Allen that I really like that movie because he's very like he's outright funny, but then he's kind of like subtly funny and he's kind of witty. It's kind of like a Liar Liar, where like he's Jim Carrey's outright funny. We says things that are hilarious, but then there's things that he says that you're like, oh, that is super funny, and like it's not
That's
as it's pretty subtle.
that's what I was saying with like a lot of the subtle and like sardonic
Mhm.
humor.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And
Also, the like Dreaming of a White Christmas plays in my head year round. We're like,
yeah, the beginning when they go to
like
Denny's.
yeah, that is just like a soundtrack in the back of my skull year
For
round.
some reason, I always think of the scene where they go to Denny's and Charlie asks for chocolate milk and she says we're out of chocolate milk and he goes, "White milk's fine." And I'm just like, dude, like get in water if it's that big of a deal.
But that's
Um,
the kind of humor that like that
well,
is
just
funny,
yeah,
but it doesn't show up in the sequels. Like
yeah, I
subtle
agree.
humor like that.
It's a little more grounded than the sequels are because now the sequels now he's Santa Claus, so it's a
Yeah.
little more fantastical, which kind of sucks in a way, but um,
You don't like
there's fine
fantastical?
moments. I would say there's great moments in all the movies, but yeah, I do feel like the Santa Claus, the first one, is a little more grounded. It's a little more. I enjoy the premise a lot. I didn't understand the Santa Claus when I was a kid. It's like because he even says it's like not Santa Claus the person, Santa Claus the
Santa Claus, the
clause.
claws.
And then it says it on the business card what the clause is. If this were to happen, you could put on the suit and you're Santa Claus. That's the clause. And so it's like it's very, I think, a very clever premise to a Christmas movie. That isn't just like, you know, we got to save Santa or whatever. I don't know how Christmas movies work. Um,
We have to save Christmas.
yeah, save Christmas somehow. And then number three for me is the holdovers. I put the holdovers in number three, simply because it's
That's a
just like
cool. That's a good movie. Very good.
yeah, yeah. I need to, and I'm glad I put it on this list because I really want to rewatch it, especially around Christmas time. I saw it in theaters the first time, but I just really liked it. I liked the relationship. Of course, you have those student teacher relationships where they're forced to be around each other, and it's like, yeah, they're. But I liked the fact one thing that kind of bothered me, but I also was like, you know, um, it bothered me at first, but I was ultimately okay with it. It was like I thought that what was Paul Giamatti's name in that movie? Do you remember? His character. He's kind of an alcoholic, and I thought maybe he was not going to be an alcoholic by the end of it, but he just kept on drinking like every chance he got, even with his his high school student in the bar with him. He's just like, I'm going to get a whiskey or whatever. I'm just like, dude, I thought
His
it was
name
gonna go ahead.
Paul Hunnam.
Okay, yeah, Paul and Paul. So, yeah, I just kind of thought that was funny. I was like, oh, they're not going to address the alcoholism at all. They're just going to let him keep drinking. But he wasn't like, belligerent or hostile or anything when he was drinking. He just liked to drink. And
Just and stylistically, I think we had an episode basically on this movie, but just like that beginning sequence where it's just like literally maybe 2 minutes or so of establishing long shots of
mhm.
rushing waterfalls accompanied by the the boys chorus, and then eventually gets to the scene of the the boys singing in the church. I just enjoyed that. Just had a very, I don't know, 70s esque style to that movie for some reason. I know
Well,
that
yeah,
the grain,
it
the audio was muffled to sound akin to maybe what it would have sounded like back in the day if the movie came out.
well, who made that movie? Was that a Paramount movie or a?
It was I don't know the distributor, but Alexander Payne
No, I meant
was
like who's the company that made
the
that movie?
company.
The producer.
Miramax
Oh, it's
production.
Miramax. Because they
Right.
didn't they have an old Miramax logo at the beginning?
Yes. And
Yeah,
I think I told you about that before, maybe
before I
even
went and saw it. I remember.
yeah.
Um, and I think that also helped whatever aesthetic you're thinking it is. It was that also
And
helped
that
that.
and that one shot where he where Paul steps outside, is looking for Tully. He's like, and it's like a close up shot, and then it does a zoom out. I felt like that's a style from the times of the 70s movie making. Where I've seen that where they like close up shot, and then they just do a zoom out, and it's like it's an ultra wide shot of him, and
Oh,
it's like Tully, where are you, or something. He's like,
mm,
where are you? But I
oh.
thought that there were a lot of not like stylistic cinematic shots I thought were very
He did
intriguing.
the guy who did Alexander Payne. He did a movie called Nebraska, which was a
Hmm.
really really good movie with Bob Odenkirk and Will Forte. Um, it was a it's good. It is black and white. Came out in 2013. Anyway, sorry. It's a good movie. I haven't seen it. You should watch it.
Check it
Okay.
out.
Number two is The Nightmare Before Christmas. Always. Usually it's number one, but I've kind of there's another movie that's usurped The Night Before Christmas, and I love the Tim Burton '90s stop motion. The songs the in it are just great, and just the whole premise of this what they call the Pumpkin King, this Halloween. I don't know what he is exactly. I know he's not because I know there's a mayor, of Halloween Town. But then there's Jack.
I was
Um,
always confused by that.
yeah, I guess he's kind of like royalty. It's like he was just born into it, kind of like the monarchy in England. You have a prime minister and you have a king now. Um, we should start calling him the Pumpkin King, huh? Anyway, so yeah, and then you have this dude that's obsessed with Christmas to so much so that he wants to do it. And what's funny is like he doesn't do it for Halloween Town. He wants to be Christmas Town's Santa Claus, right? He's like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it in the place where they celebrate Christmas. But like, he doesn't think, oh, I could just do this from Halloween Town. I just thought of that. First time ever I've thought of that. Because he kidnapped. Have y'all seen Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I have not.
Yeah.
Really?
Blasphemy, because I like
Yeah.
Tim Burton.
Wow.
I have Edward Scissorhands on my one of my lists still.
Yeah, that's also one of those. Well, they do mention Christmas a lot in that movie. It is a really wonderful movie, Edward Scissorhands.
Johnny Depp, right?
Yeah, and Winona Ryder. Um, so anyway, and I actually got to see Night Before Christmas in theaters last year or the year before. I think it might have been last year. It was really cool to see it in
That's awesome.
theaters. Yeah, it was awesome. We got there, and of course, I was like the only single adult there. Everybody else was there with their families and their kids. And I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna go see this movie by myself. I tried to take my nephew, and he was like, "Isn't that movie already out?" I was like, "Yeah, it's called a re-release. It's the experience." He was like, "Do you want to go see it?" He's like, "No, I'll just watch it on the TV here." I
A
was
lot
like,
of people
"Dude,
still find that odd. I feel like that you can go see re-releases of
yeah."
movies.
They'll be like, "That movie's a bit," but I didn't know they were making a new that movie, and I'm like, "No, it's not a new one. It's a re-release."
Goodness.
They're like, "Oh, you're gonna go see a movie that's already out?" Like, yeah, dude, it's called an experience.
Yeah, I saw episode one, The Phantom Menace, the second time ever in theaters. First time when I was a kid coming back from Baltimore.
Yeah, we saw it. It came out. It re-released this year. Me
Yeah,
and a couple friends went and saw it, and same with Lord of the Rings. Like it was awesome seeing Lord of the Rings in theaters. Um, More people there than I care to admit. So a lot of people there. But other than that, it was a wonderful experience, and so that's what I got to do with Nightmare Before Christmas, and so
that's awesome.
and yeah, and then number one is It's a
Jack
Wonderful
Frost.
Life. No,
I'm just kidding.
It's a Wonderful Life. It's
That's a
number one.
that's a great one. I feel like that's such a long movie too.
It
Like
well,
over two
I,
hours and something minutes,
is
right?
it? Hang on, let's look it up. I got to see that in theaters again, or for the first
Mm.
time last year, I think. It was really cool seeing that in theaters.
And was it released around Christmas time
Two
or
2 hours and 10 minutes. I'm not sure if it was released around. I know that when it was released, it wasn't very popular. It didn't
really?
do very well, yeah. And then
Why?
it just kind of, I guess, it just nobody wanted to see it. And then
Did did it have any, I guess, backlash because of
December,
the exploring themes of financial
uh,
corruption, not corruption, but financial distress and suicide?
let's see. I'm not sure. Yeah, it came out in December 20th, 1946, so it did come out around Christmas time. Frank Capra is the one who did the movie. Thought the contemporary critical reviews were either universally negative or at best dismissive. Um,
I'll have to look into the reviews from back then. I
yeah,
want to. I'm curious.
and then I guess reruns on TV and stuff is kind of what made it into this classic.
Probably ABC Family or something.
Yeah, something like that. Well, I don't know, man. It does have themes of suicide in it, so.
And that's
Um,
been way before the apartment, which really
yeah, it
delved
really.
into that.
Yeah, not just suicide, but sex. It talks about sex in that movie. Um, but anyway, it's a Wonderful Life. I saw this for the first time.
Do an impression of the guy. Can you do one?
Clarence, I want to live again.
I love it.
It's not that good of an impression, but anyway, I saw it for the first time like I'm gonna say 2018 or something like that. Saw it for the first time. I checked it out from my local library because I was working there at the time, and I was like, I've never seen this, so I checked it out, and I fell in love with it like instantly. And so I've tried to watch it every year since, and then once in the theaters. So I just like I don't know, the whole the whole idea of this woman who like falls in love with him as a kid, you know, and then this guy who cannot catch a break for nothing, you know. It's like he wants to go to college, he wants to see the world, but then stuff happens to where he can't do that, and he just keeps putting off. His dad dies, and then he wants to send his brother to college, and then all these, and then he meets or he falls in love with her, Mary. He falls in love with Mary Hatch, and they get married, and then they have kids, and then it's just one thing on top of the other till he decides he wants to um, commit suicide, basically. And like the interesting thing about this movie is like it takes a while to get to that point where he's thinking about killing himself.
Sometimes it does in real life. A
Yeah,
build
I
up,
mean,
right?
you have to see the buildup. You can't just give us a couple things and then say, "Oh, I'm ready to kill myself." It's like, no, I want to see, and I think it does. The movie does a good job at that exposition. You might spend an hour learning about him, but dang it, you got another hour of him learning what it's going to be like without him around. And then I saw a really cool adaptation of it, and I've talked about this before at Murray's Dinner Playhouse, which is like a playhouse that serves food. And so they did "It's a Wonderful Life," but it was the radio show. So basically, the actors acted as if they were doing a radio show. So you have this, all your actors are holding their scripts like they would in a radio show, talking into microphones. And then also you got other actors that are doing sound effects and stuff. It was a really cool show. Probably one of the coolest plays I'd ever seen.
Yeah,
Um,
I'd been to Murray's once. I forgot what I saw. To be honest, it's quite sad. I forgot, but nice little venue, kind of a hole in the wall, really. Kind of you got to
it's in
drive
the
back into that parking lot to
yeah,
find this place.
But Murray's has been around for years. I
Has
think
it?
since the 60s.
Wow.
I think.
That'd be a
Don't-
crime for it to go down under.
Well, I'm sure they've had scares, especially during COVID.
Mhm.
But yeah,
I'm surely I got to see like go onto the website, see what they're planning. Anything holiday, Christmas themed
so we're actually
this year.
going to the I think it's White Christmas. Now that I think about it, Murray's Playhouse. I'm about to tell you.
Radio show style.
No,
Mm.
unfortunately not. Yeah. Right now they're doing Murder on the Nile. We just saw that. It was just okay. Um, White Christmas,
Really,
and
I
it's
want
a
to see who the
musical.
actors are.
I don't think the actors
I
are on
wonder if
there.
there's going to be like a Bing Crosby imitator, or just maybe the guy will be himself, his own person. That's a voice.
I
It's
guess I
hard to
should.
replicate.
I guess I'll watch this movie before I go see this play. Um,
Even better. When are you seeing this play?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, oh, you don't want to wait that
Sometimes
long then.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to look. My sister-in-law's the one that organized it, and I got to figure out
Maybe it's
where we're
just
supposed.
not your cup of tea, but then you watch the movie and you're like, wow, the
I
movie's
mean,
so
I
much
like
better.
musicals. I like musicals.
Well, I'm just saying like the movie version, because we're talking about Bing Crosby here.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. And then you have this guy imitating James Stewart on stage. He did a pretty good job,
Oh,
but
excellent.
on the "It's a Wonderful Life" thing, I was like, why does he need to imitate James Stewart just
Because he
because
has that
James
like that
Stewart
little
played in the
stutter
movie?
thing going on too.
Well, like in my head, I was like, couldn't he have just done like his own version of what was his name, Frank Bailey? No,
George.
George Bailey. Thank you. But you have someone as with a voice as distinct as Jimmy Stewart. It's like you can't do it unless this person can impersonate Jimmy Stewart. I don't know. It's weird.
If you were the director, would you have preferred having the person that played George Bailey to not do an impression of the James Stewart version?
I think what I would have done was say, give me your best James Stewart, and then give me your version of this. Like I want to hear how you sound doing this.
Mhm.
Um, and compare the two. Because I mean, like, yeah, I get it. Jimmy Stewart's got a really distinct voice, but um, just because you're doing the play version of this doesn't mean you necessarily have to. But I
You-
guess maybe because it's technically a radio show, maybe that's why they do an impersonation of Jimmy
Right.
Stewart. Um, I
I'd
don't
like to
know.
see go on YouTube and see. I'm sure there's other. I could go on YouTube and see like radio versions, like snippets from "It's a Wonderful Life" in other
Yeah,
cities, and see if they do an imitation.
let's
I'd be
see.
curious.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Like with the Harry Potter live
That's
action
funny.
or like plays, hasn't there been like a Harry Potter live
Well, I mean, there's
musical?
the Cursed Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. They did a play, I think, in London.
Yeah,
There's actually a really funny play, off-Broadway play called Puffs, and it's just
Puffs.
about a group of Hufflepuffs while Harry Potter was going there.
Interesting. That's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
it was actually kind of funny. I
That's
watched
actually
it.
intriguing.
Yeah, It's a Wonderful Life radio play. Let's see. Oh,
Oh,
it
you're
looks
looking
like
up a
looks
clip on YouTube.
yeah, it looks like there's a couple of them. So yeah, you could. There's a few of them that you could go on and look. Um,
George Bailey.
I think this would be fun to put on as a school. This
What's
play.
the movie where Jimmy Stewart plays the guy in the courtroom?
The Guy in the Courtroom.
Courtroom
Let's see.
movie. Anatomy of a Murder? Is that it?
Isn't that the movie that won or was nominated for an Oscar recently?
I don't know. But this is
Anatomy of a Murder.
it's, this is a 1959 movie.
Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, I see it.
I thought he was really
Anatomy of a Murder.
known for
Oh yeah,
that performance as
I've
well.
seen
Like,
this. I've seen this poster before.
yeah,
So real quick, if I may, I did create a top 10. Um, I
Christmas.
yeah, we don't have to talk about them in depth. I just wanted to say them. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Yes, let's
Okay.
do it.
So number 10, I did "I'll Be Home for Christmas," which is Jonathan Taylor Thomas. about a college
Oh, I
boy.
forgot about that one. That's a
Yeah,
good one.
it's a funny movie. Number nine, I did Jingle All the Way. Arnold
Forget
Schwarzenegger.
about that one.
Not
Turbo.
even close.
I went on eBay and they are selling the Turbo Man dolls. I
For how
want one.
much?
Like 50, 60.
Ugh. Number eight was Office Christmas Party. That's a newer movie with Jason Bateman and Jennifer Aniston. Really funny movie. Number seven was 8-Bit Christmas with Neil Patrick Harris, which I don't know if y'all saw that, but it is on HBO Max. And it's about a kid trying to score a Nintendo in original NES for Christmas. Um, and it has a really like hard like hit you in the feels scene at the end. It's really like you're like, oh my god, you want to cry. And then number six was Home Alone, which is always going to be like a classic for me, but it just got pushed out of my top five. Just Home Alone, and yeah. And then I got 11 through 18 is just stuff I've just written down as we've been talking. Um, so I really want to do the 30 days of Christmas movies if I can, or at least 25 days. Um,
What's the Amelia Clark movie we saw at the
oh yeah, Last
River
Christmas. That was a cute movie.
River
Yeah.
Center? I forgot the name of the theater.
Riverdale.
Riverdale. Remember that one?
Yeah, Last Christmas. We
It
saw that
was
with Mandy and Stephanie.
Yeah, remember the old days?
The old days when we all hung out together. Yeah. I like that movie. I'm not a big fan of like romantic comedies and stuff, but I actually kind of like that movie.
Hard for me to
Um,
watch it now because of the so-called twist.
the
And
twist,
yeah.
the twist is interesting. It's a good twist.
Yeah.
But of course, when it happened, I was like, of course, of course that's the twist. And Stephanie's like, what is that? I was like, can I say it on the thing? I don't know
I
if
mean,
you've
I
seen
know.
it. Oh, you do know it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, she has his heart. She's
yeah.
like, oh, it's like, yeah.
And you can recall a Christmas movie that kind of captured that kind of, I don't know, warm feeling like that movie did in the recent years. I really can't.
In the
I mean,
recent years, no, not really. Just like
that's
nothing.
not Hallmark.
Yeah, I was say nothing like kind of mainstreamish.
Yeah.
That and I love Amelia Clark. Like she is a freaking beautiful. She's funny and she can sing apparently. So
Hmm.
thought that was kind of nice. I'm gonna put that on my list.
That's one
Last
that I feel
Christmas.
like could be in a top 50 for people or even
Yeah,
20.
yeah. Right now it's in my top 20. Well, no, it's not really a top 20 because I'm just writing stuff
I
down.
don't know many like traditional Christmas movies that are like British. So
Neither do I.
it's one.
Yeah, everything on here I think is American. So for that one, I don't know any Christmas movies that are British either. Let's look it up.
Sad.
British Christmas movies.
Well, there is a World War One movie. During World War One, the Germans and I believe it was the British. It could be the French. I'm sorry, historians, but it was the Allies versus the Axis, and they came together one night and celebrated Christmas together. And then there's a movie based on this event. I forget what
I'm
it's
just
called.
I'm just writing down movies. So I just wrote down Klaus. That was a pretty good movie.
Klaus.
This animated movie about the birth of like
Oh,
how Santa Claus came to be.
What's
And
the
then
post? There's a recent one that I haven't seen. It's on Netflix. I think it's called like The Christmas Postman or something.
I don't know. Let's see. Netflix Christmas movies.
the Christmas Truce is the one about the Christmas Day truce between opposing British and German
Oh,
forces during
is
World
it
War One.
Klaus? That's the one that just came out, or 2019.
Yeah, yeah. That mean yeah, it is about a postman.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
Well, no
Klaus
wonder I
movie.
recognized it.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't even think about it. My bad.
Is it in a different language or
No,
is it
it's in English.
Oh,
Actually, J.K. Rowling, not J.K. Rowling, J.K. Simmons voices Klaus, which is funny because there's a new movie coming out called Red One. And he plays Santa again, um, which
Wow.
I'm boycotting Red One
Why?
Why? Because of Brendan
'Cause
Mark
I-
Johnson.
because I wrote a movie similar to it, and now I'm kind of just pissed.
Oh.
I'm being petty.
You wrote a movie similar to
Well, I
that?
didn't write a movie, but I haven't written the actual script yet, but I've
Yeah.
written like the
The
everything.
synopsis.
Yeah, everything and characters
Interesting.
and everything. It's a little different. This one's a little more fantastical than mine, but I was like, what the hell? Like, I'm not watching that movie. I get upset, man, when and it's my own damn fault, but it's like, still, when I see movies that I'm like, what the hell? Like, I have the same idea. Makes you mad.
It's rated quite well on IMDb.
I heard it wasn't rated quite well
Rotten Tomatoes 95.
for audience score.
I don't know. I just
The
seen what's
popcorn one.
popped. Let's see. Rotten Tomatoes 95 for 96 for the popcorn and 95 tomato meter.
Wow, wasn't expecting.
What streaming service is this on? If it's on any
It's in theaters right now, I think.
Klaus
Oh, Klaus is on
Klaus is
Netflix.
on Netflix.
Oh, you're on talking about
Netflix?
Klaus. I thought you were talking about Red One.
No, red one's rated bad.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. No, Klaus is on Netflix. It's a Netflix original, I believe. And it's a good movie. It's a good recent Christmas movie.
What's really cool about Klaus is it is 2D animated, but it looks 3D.
Yeah, it is really
They
cool,
use,
the
they use
animation.
a lot of really cool techniques to make it
Mhm.
appear like 3D animated, although it is in actuality 2D.
Yeah, it is a really neat movie.
So Red One's made $34 million on a $250 million budget in its first weekend. That sounds bad.
Good.
But Amazon MGM never planned to make its profit in theaters, according to the
You never
article.
me, whatever. Sorry.
Is it true that Dwayne The Rock Johnson has like a stipulation
piss
in his
bottle?
contract where he can't like be defeated in movies?
Yeah,
I think that's
I wonder if
true.
that's true.
yeah,
I think it is true.
it is. Both he and Jason's Statham, I think.
Statham.
Statham, whatever his name is.
That guy.
That's wild, man.
They're both. Man, what a son of a small man is you having a contract you can't be defeated. Like,
Would have been nice to see Henry Cavill's Superman beat up and defeat
Black Adam.
Black Adam
Yeah.
if Zack Snyder's universe had continued. He should continue it, but in a comic and have Black Adam get defeated and see if Dwayne Johnson has a
Yeah.
problem with that.
use their likenesses.
Yeah, I would
Yes,
say he might if they use his likeness.
he probably
there's-
would sue.
There's a lot of there's a lot of movies, British movies that I've heard of that
About
are
Christmas?
so there's Arthur Christmas, yeah. Love Actually is a Christmas movie.
Love Actually.
The Holiday.
Love Actually. Let's see.
That's actually supposed to be like a pretty classic. I'm gonna put that on my list too.
Love Actually. That's the one with the blonde Cameron Diaz, right?
I don't know, man. I've never seen it.
Never mind. There's some Christmas movie that has Cameron Diaz, and I swear it's a holiday movie. No, Love Actually, I've never seen. My bad.
Oh no, it looks like The Holiday might have Cameron Diaz in it. It kind of looks like her.
Yes, that's the one because
Yeah.
it had some British guy in it.
Oh yeah, it is Cameron Diaz. It's got Jack Black and Kate Winslet, and then it's got Jude Law.
Jude Law. Yeah, he plays the dashing gentleman. That was all right movie. That was all right movie. I saw it for the first time like last year.
You know what movie I forgot? Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot this movie. The Muppet Christmas Carol. Oh man. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Nope.
Oh, it's so funny. I watched it the first time in a very long time last year. And it was so like I was like, this is such a great movie. Like I love the freaking Muppets. I love them. This and then I watched not a few years ago I watched Muppets in Space. And then my favorite Muppet movie is Muppet Treasure Island. Oh man, the Muppet movie. You know what movie we did mention, which I'm surprised nobody mentioned it?
What?
Polar Express.
That was so like if we had expanded like you did your top 10, if I was expanding mine,
Polar Express was in there. Oh,
Polar Express was in there. Christmas with the Cranks was in there.
I'm gonna put Jack Frost on my list. Jake. I mean not Jake. Zach.
Oh, that's
The
a good
Michael
one, yeah.
Keaton. Jack Frost.
Yeah.
I'll put it on my list.
And then there's a movie. I don't know if it actually is a Christmas movie. It's Ryan Reynolds is in it. It's called The Proposal,
Yeah.
and it's he and
Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, Sandra Bullock. And I actually don't think it's a Christmas movie, but
Gee.
whenever I watch it, it feels like a
Well,
Christmas
probably
movie.
because it takes place in Alaska,
Yeah,
because that's where he's from. No, yes, that's where he's from.
yeah, it's from Alaska.
Um, I watched that movie once. It was pretty funny. Ryan Reynolds mentions it in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Does
Remember
he?
that? Yeah, remember that, Zach? When he's like, I can talk to the camera, whatever. He just looks at the camera and goes, the proposal.
No, I remember that.
It was funny. It was Nice Pool that said that.
Nice pool.
That
Yeah.
would be him. Yeah.
The proposal. He's like, is that what you think I do? It's so funny. All right, cool. Well, Zach, did you have a top 10? You just want to name off the rest of them real quick? And then we can
Christmas.
kind of,
I don't know. I've named five. I'm just gonna. I don't in no particular order. Just whatever comes out of my head, my mind. Yeah, Christmas with the Cranks, Jack Frost, Home Alone 2, two more.
Home Alone 2.
I'll say White Christmas and one more. Charlie Brown Christmas.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Very classic.
I do have like a DVD set of the classic Christmas movies like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, those are
I
great.
would like to rewatch those.
What was the style of animation called?
Stop motion animation.
Stop motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for I think not Jack Frost. Yeah, Jack Frost. Jack Frost is a snowman, right? Yeah. That's a 2D animated. I think there's two of them actually. I want to say there's two, or does it start off in stop motion and then go to 2D animated? I can't remember.
Hmm.
Anyway, I think I'm gonna try to
The
watch
one where
those.
the guy gets turned into a snowman.
Well, there's Jack Frost with Michael Keaton. I'm talking about the Jack Frost, like the original, like animated movie. But yes, there's Jack Frost from 1998. Where what does he die? He dies,
That's what I
right?
was thinking of. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he dies and gets
and
turned
it's turned
into
to a snowman. Yeah, Zach would know more than us because
I
he
didn't
loves
realize that was Michael Keaton.
it. It
Dang.
is Michael Keaton,
And
right?
Jack
Zach?
Frost.
Yeah,
Yeah, he plays the
he plays the snowman. He
plays a snowman.
It's a classic, man. You should check
Yeah,
it
he
out.
plays the snowman.
I like the guy who plays his son, Charlie.
What? There's a kid named Charlie in that movie? So many Charlies playing these
Yeah.
Christmas movies.
Takes place in Colorado, and it's snowing all the time.
All right, well, good list. I've got 26 movies now that I've added to my list of movies to watch this holiday. So we'll see if that actually happens. I put Bad Santa on there too. I've never seen Bad Santa, so I thought I'd give it a shot. Um, so anyway, good talk. Some good movies, and I'm trying to watch some of the movies that you guys suggested. Um, got a nice array of movies here.
A vast array. Nice.
I like I got Violent Night and Christmas Bloody Christmas, and the rest are like your and Bad Santa, and the rest are like almost your cookie cutter type Christmas movies, mostly, except for the Santa Claus and the Holdovers.
A little bit more introspective, those ones.
Yeah, same with the What's a Wonderful Life.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good movie, such a great movie. Oh my God, it's so good. Sorry. Also, I think I just really like Jimmy Stewart. Um,
Hence the excellent impression.
yeah, you want to live, my God. Yeah. Cool. Well, hey, great talk. Any final thoughts about Christmas or Christmas movies or?
I just
I mean,
wish
not
there
that-
were good Christmas movies these
Not
days.
that we've ever had any audience participation except for that one person roasting me because I conflated some events one time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was my friend that did that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So besides that one audience interaction, I don't think we've ever had any, but I would love to know what our audience,
Yeah, some of their
what our
favorite
audience
Christmas
movies
movies.
are.
Yeah, that'd be great. Would love to hear from you, one person. I'm gonna guess your name
Specifically
is
calling out your
Steve.
friend. Tell us what your favorite
Shit.
Christmas movies are.
Funnily enough, my friends don't listen to this show anymore. It's kind of lame. Jerks. If they had a podcast, I'd listen to it. All right, cool. Well, yeah, great movie choices. I'm excited to watch these movies. I need to start. I should just start now.
Do
Just
it.
screw it. Just start now. Put the Christmas tree up. I actually want to do some rearranging, put my record player in the living room and have Christmas music playing all the time.
That'll be beautiful.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. Well, hey, thanks for listening to us. And if you want to hit us up, you can hit us up on all the mainstream social medias, including YouTube. If you want to listen to us, you can hit us up on pretty much everywhere you get your podcast, including YouTube. So if you have any ideas for episodes, or if you want to how you want to say hello or whatever, please hit us up, and we would love to hear from you guys. And if you want to talk about your favorite Christmas movies, we would love to hear what they are. Top five, top one, it doesn't matter. Probably should stop at five though. I'm just in a comment section. Five is probably enough. Cool. Well, yeah, and thanks for listening. And Jake,
Have a fantastic holiday.
oh, nice holiday. Bye.